Good day, everybody. Dishnet34 here, welcoming you to today's episode of This Week in Perfect Team, episode number 199. Guys, that is one big number right there. One more until our 200th episode. Can you believe that we have almost been doing this for 200 episodes? That's just absolutely incredible. So Ty and Jackie confirmed for next week? Maybe, we'll see. I mean, I haven't 100% thought it out yet, but it'd be pretty cool. Oh man, well hopefully y'all have been having a great week so far. I know I have been, even though it's been a little bit stressful, but you know what? It's Thursday. It's the relaxing part of the week. It's almost Friday. Almost the weekend. Oh man, just an exciting part of the week. Just a very exciting part of the week. Oh man. I'm looking forward to this weekend, y'all. For a number of reasons, but you know what? Just kind of want to go out and have some fun today. And you know what? The fun starts today because we have one heck of a set for you today. Heroes of April. Now, when you think of April, you're thinking of like those kind of small sample performances that just maybe have petered out, maybe continued throughout the rest of the year. And we got some that are kind of a mix of both here in this set today. Some performances that were just absolutely incredible in April, and maybe they continued on the rest of the year, and maybe they didn't. So this is a fun set. I took a look at this yesterday, and oh man, there are some definite players. There are some definite players in this set that are just absolutely incredible. There's a lot of performances that I didn't even know existed. Like some really good performances that I never knew existed. So let's go ahead and get started with today's action. But first, we got a couple of news and notes for you. For those of you who bought Perfect Team Plus, don't forget that if you bought just 1 month of it, please check your subscription and make sure to renew if you want to continue it for another 30 days. That first renewal period coming right up. And even though it's not an auto-renewable thing, you might want to give it a check, see if you want to continue it, see if you don't, all that good stuff. Now, we got a couple of LEs that we released earlier this week. 77 overall right fielder Buttercup Dickerson from 1884, and 96 overall Mark Burley from the 07 White Sox. These are some very fun cards that are still in packs right now, and as of 10:25 a.m. this morning, there have been 12 of the 100 Buttercup Dickerson cards available that have been found, and only 3 of the 25 Mark Burleys have been pulled as well. So, happy hunting in those packs for these very great cards right here. And yes, you can buy multiple months of Perfect Team Plus as well. So, there's something to consider as well. All right, so couple of quick news and notes there. And also, another thing that you may or may not have noticed throughout the day, the last couple of days or so, but our affiliate streamers, our intrepid affiliate streamers, have been doing a Streamathon for almost the last 24 hours, which has just been absolutely incredible. They are just absolutely incredible people. Our stream affiliates, they have been doing some great stuff so far, and it continues today. So there's a look at the schedule right there. We got you got the guys of Laptop Hound, you got I Rock This, you have let's see who's coming up after this. Laptop Hound's coming up after this, and then it's going to be Dr. Dynastic following that, Tsweegie following that. so much good stuff going on. Oh, man. Yeah, Gorgo already went yesterday, so yeah. All right, so you know what? This is some pretty cool stuff. If you haven't tuned in, if you have not tuned in to any of these streams, what are you waiting for? We're going to be going over, yeah, so always a fun time with our affiliate streamers, and Kamish is going to be rounding out the action. So good stuff there. Also, don't forget about Stathead Baseball, powered by Baseball Reference. That's right. A lot of these splits came straight from Baseball Reference. Some of these April statistics you see coming straight from Baseball Reference and Stathead, and you can get in on the action as well using code 23 OOTP 25 for $25 off an annual baseball or all sport subscription. The offer expires in just over a couple months. So what are you waiting for? I use this a lot when I'm creating the slides, as you well know already. I use this, just to kind of poke around, I even was like going over like the last decade of people sometimes and trying to find like the lowest ERA or something for starters in this particular period. And just to have a little fun with the service. So if you want in on that kind of action, $25 off an annual baseball or all sports subscription. And it's not just for baseball. Not just for baseball. It's for hockey. It's for football. It's for basketball. Big four sports here in America. Pretty cool stuff. So you can save $25 using the code 23OTP25 off an annual baseball or all sports subscription from Stathead Baseball, powered by Baseball Reference. Fun stuff right there. Highly recommend. Get in on this deal now. It expires July 1st, 2023. Alrighty. So, let's go ahead and get right into the meat of the action today. The Heroes of April. That's right. We have some cards of players who have had phenomenal Aprils in their respective seasons. Now, one thing I want to clear up first. There were a couple people that asked, hey, isn't this just players of the month? And unfortunately, this is not a players of the month kind of set. All right, I don't believe we're doing players of the month this year. I know we've done that in the past, but I don't see any plans right now for like a player of the month kind of thing with players that are currently playing. So there's that. But these are cards of players who have had phenomenal Aprils in historical seasons, and we have quite a few really, really good ones. Really, really good ones. So here we go. Let's go ahead and get started with one of the more underrated Aprils. Just kind of, second year players, you have players that are pretty decent in their first season and they get off to a hot start in their second season in the big leagues. This guy certainly did so in the 2016 season, and that, my friends, is 71 overall Vince Velasquez from the Philadelphia Phillies. 86 stuff, 73 movements, 71 homer ratings, 71 pitcher BABIP, and 71 control. Fastball, curveball, and changeup combo. 65 stamina and 62 on the hold runner. Now, when you look at the whole of Vince Velasquez's season, 8-6, 4.12 ERA, really good strikeout rate of 10.4. 3.1 walks per 9, that's not bad. 101 ERA plus, just around league average. But if you take a look at his stats from April that year, he was just absolutely on fire to start the 2016 season. Went 3-1 with a 1.78 ERA just under 12 strikeouts per nine, a 5.5 K to walk ratio, and that included 25 strikeouts in his first 2 starts. First start against the New York Mets, a 1-0 win in New York. Went 6 innings, gave up 3 hits, 3 walks, 9 strikeouts, didn't give up a run, and then the very next game, his next start, April 14th against San Diego, a 3-hit shutout, 16 strikeouts, and no walks. That is absolutely phenomenal. Like, holy crap, that was just absolutely amazing. So basically, with that performance, he became only the second pitcher since the year 2000 to pitch a shutout game with 16 or more strikeouts and 0 walks. The other guy, Max Scherzer, who struck out 17 the year prior in 2015. And striking out 25 in his first 2 Phillies starts, Velasquez passed Jim Bunning, who fanned 20 in 1964 for the franchise record. So, pretty lofty company there for Vince Velasquez. This guy, not bad for silver, low silver. You got a little bit of splits against lefties here, but not too big of a split difference here. 87 stuff, 73 movement, 71, 71, 69 down the line against lefties. Gonna get about 85 stuff, 73 movement, 71, 70, and 72 against righties. So pretty darn good stuff right there. Vince Velasquez from the 2016 Phillies is in. Perfect team. 24. Yeah, and then he was kind of terrible, but I think that was because he had the injury. He was pretty much beset by injuries for quite a bit of his career, if I recall correctly. So he did get sidelined for quite a bit, and honestly, he was kind of never the same after that. So there you go. Let's go ahead and move on to our next card of the day. And let's go back a couple more years. You know, we're still going to stay in the 2010s here for a little bit. Heck, the 2000s for a little bit. And let's go to the NL Central, where we find our next card. And this guy, you know, may have had a bit of he had a decent April. All right, but there were a couple of performances in there that really stood out. And that pitcher that did that was 73 overall, Michael Wacha from the 2014 St. Louis Cardinals. 76 stuff, 85 movement, 83 homer rating, 68 pitcher BABIP, 65 control. Gonna be a little bit splitty toward lefties here, so you got a little bit of reverse splits here on this card. 77 stuff, 87 movement, 88 homer rating, 69 pitcher BABIP, 75 control against lefties. Against righties, you got 76 stuff, 82 movement, 80 homer, 66 pitcher BABIP, 57 on the control. Fastball, curveball, sinker, cutter, and circle change on the combo there. 65 stamina, 69 on the hold runner. 92-94 fly ball pitcher. Now, Michael Wacha's 2014 went 5-6, a 3.20 ERA in 19 starts, 7.9 Ks per 9, 2.8 walks per 9, but April 2014. Let's talk about his April 2014. All right. 2-2 with a 2.48 ERA. 36 and a third innings pitched. It's okay. But only gave up 2 home runs during that month. And one of the more interesting performances I found in the game logs from that April of 2014. He started out really good. You know, couple of starts against Cincinnati. Struck out 10, walked 2 in those first 2 starts, gave up a run. They gave up like a few runs against the Cubs, gave up 1 against the Nationals, but one of the more interesting performances was a game against the New York Mets on April 23rd, 2014, in New York with, honestly, I did not believe this. I did not believe this when I read this on Wikipedia. There were 41-mile-an-hour winds that day when Michael Wacha started on that day against the Mets. Struck out 10 batters, walked 5 in 4 innings. Unfortunately, got the loss in that one. But that's just a superhuman performance. Get 10 strikeouts in those kind of wins? Absolutely incredible. So there you go. Michael Wacha from the 2014 St. Louis Cardinals. But were they blowing in from center? They might have been. You know what? Let me see if I can find that. Let me see if I can find that. Because I would think... Let's see. Do they have that kind of detail here? On Baseball Reference? They might. They might. Okay, so the start time weather for that game. The start time weather for that. 21,000 people attended this game, by the way. 51 degrees Fahrenheit. The wind was blowing in from left field. This was at the start of the game, so the 41 miles an hour must have happened later in the game. The wind was blowing in from left field at the start of the game at 31 miles an hour. Now, for those of you who do not do miles per hour, that is approximately just below 50 kilometers per hour. So that is still some strong winds right there. Yeah, and Wacha's hat blew off in the middle of the second inning. Someone in the chat just said that. So, yeah, pitching on a windy day, not fun. I would not have wanted to be a hitter trying to square up a ball in 30, 40 mile an hour winds. So, that's a pretty heroic performance to get 10 strikeouts in that weather. Phenomenal. So, in that way, he's a bit of a hero, even though he got the loss in that game. So there you go. Michael Wacha from the St. Louis Cardinals 2014 season is in. Perfect team. 24. All right, next up, we got a couple more silvers for you here before we head into the golds. And let's go back to the previous decade in the 2000s. Let's go to the 2000 and aughts for this next one. And, you know, one of the better contact hitters of the mid to late 2000s played, hey, speaking of the New York Mets, this guy played for the New York Mets, probably one of the better contact speed guys of the mid to late 2000s. And obviously, I'm talking about our next player from the 2007 New York Mets, 78 overall, Jose Reyes. 85 BABIP, 34 power, 79 avoid K, 86 contact, 89 gap power, and 60 on the eye. Look at the splits against lefties here. Look at the splits against lefties. 91 BABIP, 31 power, 86 avoid K, 93 contact, 91 gap power, and 54 on the eye. This guy, was a fantasy god in 2007. Around this time period, this was an all-star season for him. Couple of years a year or two before he won MVP, if I recall correctly. In terms of defensive stuff, a little bit on the mess side when it comes to shortstop, to be honest. 79 range, 72 errors, 75 arms, 72 on the turn double play. He is qualified, however, to learn third base. Qualified to learn third base. So that could be something interesting if you decide to play this guy in your league team. Speed, stealing, and base running. It's a Jose Reyes card. It's pretty good. 96 speed, 99 stealing, 98 on the base running. He was also the April 2007 National League Player of the Month. Now, overall for the year, hit 280, 354, 421, 12 homers, 57 RBI, 78 stolen bases. So you're going to get a lot of stolen bases from this Jose Reyes card. However, in his April 07, it was just absolutely incredible. I think he had like 1 month in that season that might have been right on par, but there was no month that he had, in my estimation, that was better than this one. 356, 442, 596 slash line, had 2 homers, 18 RBI, 9 doubles, 5 triples, 17 stolen bases, plus a 385 BABIP. That's pretty darn good. A little bit of a gap hitter as well. Got the speed around the bases a little bit. 37 hits in total that month. Scored 26 runs. 104 at bats. That's an incredible month for anybody. Had a ridiculous start to the year. And really kind of kept it up through June a little bit. I mean, his June was pretty good too. Hit 330 in the month of June. 2 homers, 9 RBI that month. But his April, absolutely phenomenal. 18 RBI in the month of April alone. Absolutely incredible start. And he finished pretty well too. So there you go. Jose Reyes from the 78 overall from the 2007 New York Mets is in Perfect Team 24. Man, oh man. That first half for Jose Reyes, 307, 387, 439. Whew, nice. All right, we got one more silver for you. Yeah, the Mets didn't finish well that year. Yeah, the Mets did not finish well that year, Twan. All right, our final silver of the day comes to us from the Pacific Northwest, and we're going to go back into the 2010s here a little bit for a lefty that had one heck of a start as kind of an unsung piece of the Mariners bullpen to start that year. We have from the 2018 Seattle Mariners, 79 overall, James Pazos. 74 stuff, 94 movement, 94 homer rating, 61 pitcher BABIP, 78 control. Now, you got some interesting splits on this card right here with Pazos. Against lefties, he's got 92 stuff, 84 movement, 85 home run rating, 75 pitcher BABIP, 81 control. But against righties, it's a little bit of a different story. 68 stuff, 97 movement, 97 homer rating, 56 pitcher BABIP, and 77 control. Got a slider and a sinker combo, 16 stamina, 63 on the hold runner, neutral ground ball fly ball tendency, 93 to 95 on the velocity. Now, James Pazos, overall in the year, pretty darn good as a lefty coming out of the pen. The Mariners had some lefty problems in 2018. I think they had Mark Zepchinski as their main lefty coming out of the bullpen, and he had to be sent down in April that year because he stunk, statistically. But James Pazos was that guy coming out of the bullpen for the Mariners. 60 games, 50 innings pitched, a 2.88 ERA, just over 8 strikeouts per 9, a little under 3 walks per 9. Now, a statistic that I found interesting, he threw his sinker just about 92% of the time during the season. That's pretty incredible. But you know what was even more incredible? His April that year. 10 2/3 innings pitched, a 1.69 ERA, 13 strikeouts to 1 walk. And that 1 walk during that month was his first game of the year against the Giants. Now, you might be asking yourself, well, it's just 1 walk in the month of April. He probably had a ton more walks during the season, right? Well, after that first game against the Giants, on April 4th, James Pazos did not walk a single batter until June 14th against Boston. Ladies and gentlemen, that is just over 2 months without walking anybody. Incredible. Just incredible. Some notable performances from that April. He gave up a couple of runs in his first couple appearances against the Giants and the Twins. And then he didn't give up a run again until May 16th. So his ERA started at 9, slowly dwindled down. He had a 2 2/3 innings pitched outing against Texas on April 22nd, couple strikeouts there. There's only one appearance in the month of April where he didn't strike anybody out. So this guy, strikeout machine, out machine. This guy, pretty darn good. James Pazos gave up a 205 batting average during that month, which is pretty crazy. But you know what? We're going to see some crazier numbers in that department pretty soon. So there you go. James Pazos from the 2018 Seattle Mariners in Perfect Team 24. Yeah, you know what? I've yet to walk anyone either. But you know what? Going 2 months in professional baseball without walking anybody, that's a darn good accomplishment. All right, next up, we're going to stay in the 10s, but we're going to go back quite a ways to the 1910s. That's right. We got a dead ball card. We dug in the archives and we found a dead ball card for y'all today. 1910s. And you know what? Let's go to the year 1910 for this one. And we have for you pretty good one that was, now, despite his April, was traded mid-season because his team couldn't score some runs for him. Ladies and gentlemen, from the 1910 Chicago White Sox, we have 82 overall, Frank Smith. Frank Smith, 66 stuff, 104 movement, 97 homer rating, 89 pitcher BABIP, and 55 on the control. Now, split-wise, 69 stuff, 102 movement, 95 homer, 93 pitcher BABIP against lefties, 63 stuff, 105 movement, 98 homer, 85 pitcher BABIP, 56 control against righty. That pitcher BABIP, pretty doggone hot right here. Fastball, curveball, screwball combo. So you get a little bit of reverse splits on this guy right here, especially against lefties. Now, movement overall a little bit higher against righties than he is against lefties, but you're going to get a lot more pitcher BABIP when you're playing this guy against lefties. So that's something to consider. He's a ground ball pitcher, can just touch 90 miles an hour. 99 stamina, 64 hold runner. Now, Frank Smith's 1910. Frank Smith, 1910. When you look at the whole, 5-11, 2.53 ERA, just over 3 strikeouts per 9, just a little under 3 walks per 9. You know, you look at this and you're thinking, yeah, this guy, nothing special. Nothing special whatsoever. But you have to take a look at this guy's April, because there were some phenomenal numbers here. 3-1 in his 4 starts during the month of April. 39 innings pitched, did not give up a run at all. No earned runs. Now, he did give up 2 runs, but none of them earned. Only 17 hits given up in 39 innings, 6 walks to 18 strikeouts. Now, for my math nerds out there, that translates to a walks and hits per inning pitched count of a .59. That was his whip in the month of April. Holy jeez. Holy jeez. That's one of the lower whip numbers I've ever seen. But you know what? We actually got a lower whip here later on. I'm just saying. But a 590, that's just incredible right there. Now, Frank Smith, after that April, it got a little bit more dicey for him. In May, he went 0-4. June, he went 1-2. And then mid-season, dude got traded to the Red Sox. So, where he finished out the season going 1-2 with a 4.82 ERA. So he really couldn't quite keep up that April performance throughout the rest of the season. Then again, his run support was probably a little bit right there. But just it started out great for Frank Smith in 1910, kind of petered out. But you know what? Overall, this guy was not a bad pitcher. He only gave up 1 homer all year long. So there you go. Frank Smith from the 1910 Chicago White Sox is in Perfect Team 24. All right. We got you your dead ball guy. We got the dead ball guy in. All right, let's go to a more modern guy. Let's go back. Let's jump forward again. Another 100 years. Back to the 2010s for our next card right here. And you know, this guy, when you talk about guys that started off their career just really well, heck, started off their season really well, and kind of translated their success from April to May as well with their dominance. This guy could be one you think about a little bit. Here we go. From the 2013 Tampa Bay Rays, we have 84 overall, Matt Moore. Matt Moore, 84 overall from the 2013 Tampa Bay Rays. 105 stuff, 82 movement, 73 homer rating, 96 BABIP, and 46 control. Now, split-wise, there's not a lot of split here. Maybe in the control segment, but not a whole lot past that. 107 stuff, 82 movement, 74 homer, 98 pitcher BABIP, and 51 control against lefties. 105 stuff, 82 movement, 73 homer, 95 pitcher BABIP, and 44 control against righties. Fastball, curveball, changeup, sinker combo right here. 70 stamina, 97 on the hold runner. That's a pretty good one. That's a pretty darn good one right there. Now, Matt Moore, All-Star that year, finished 9th in the AL Cy Young Award voting. Now, the reason his control is probably a little bit low, probably because of that 4.5 walks per 9 that he had during the year, led MLB in wild pitches with 17. 2013, he went 17-4 overall, a 3.29 ERA, 8.6 strikeouts per 9, 4.5 walks per 9, and a 1.17 ERA plus. But let's take a look at this guy's April 2013 because holy cats. This guy was pitching like one of the best pitchers in baseball during the month of April. All right, this guy, 5-0, a 1.13 ERA, 10.7 strikeouts per 9, walked 15 guys, so, you know, it's probably around maybe the 4.5 range, maybe just a little around 4 walks per 9 during that period. Only gave up 4 runs, 13 hits, and a .875 whip. Now, hitters only slashed 122, 230, 215 against this guy. When you can hold hitters to a 122 batting average during an entire month, that's incredible. I mean, there's some... Let's take a look at some of the game logs here for Matt Moore. All right. Started off the year against Cleveland, 8 strikeouts, 2 walks in 6 innings. Got the win in that one. Tampa Bay against Texas, April 10th. 5 strikeouts and 6 walks, 5 1/3, 1 hit given up, no runs. Gave up a couple runs against Baltimore, gave up a run against New York, then gave up a run against Chicago to end the month, but his team helped him out on offense, and he went 5-0, won all 5 of his starts during the month of April. Now, that winning for Matt Moore actually continued into the month of May. He won 3 more games during the month of May, didn't lose any until June 4th. So this guy started out the year 8-0 to start the year. Holy cow. That's an incredible start to a season right there for Matt Moore. And you know what? This card kind of symbolizes his whole year. One thing I do want to mention on the BABIP here. Matt Moore's pitcher BABIP during the year 2013, just a 263 BABIP against. Hitters only hit 216 against him throughout the entire year. So pretty incredible right there. And you know, I have a little history with Matt Moore as a Tigers fan here, because the guy came to Detroit in 2019. It was going to be like this buy low deal on a guy that was kind of the last couple of years. He had 10 shutout innings to start the year, couple of starts. Then he went to field a bunt against Kansas City and got a bad meniscus, and he out for the rest of the year. If there's something that epitomizes the late 2010s Detroit Tigers, it is that. It is that. And then we tried again with Tyson Ross, and yeah, I don't want to talk about that. But there you go, Matt Moore from the 2013 Tampa Bay Rays is in Perfect Team 24. All right, let's go back. Let's go back to like the mid 20th century here. All right, let's go to the 1960s. Let's go to the 1960s for this one. And if you want to talk about speedsters that also had some unexpected power during the month of April, this guy, oh man, this guy got off to a hot start in April in 1967. Ladies and gentlemen, from the 1967 St. Louis Cardinals, we have 85 overall left fielder Lou Brock. Lou Brock, 86 BABIP, 72 power, 60 avoid K, 91 contact, 67 gap, and 22 on the eye. Split-wise, going to be a little bit better against righties than he is against lefties. Got 89 BABIP, 74 power, 61 avoid K, 95 contact, 69 gap, and 22 eye against righties alone. The eye, not quite there against either side. A little bit against lefties, 77 BABIP, 66 power, 56 avoid K, 80 contact, 62 gap, and 20 on the eye. Defensively, you know, Lou Brock really has not had a good defensive card in Perfect Team, to be quite honest with you, and this is no different. 67 range, 37 errors, 64 arm, translates to a 76 position rating out there in left, is qualified to learn right field as well. Speed, stealing, and base running, you got 96 speed, 96 stealing, 98 base running. Sack bunt ratings, kind of right in the middle, 57 bunt, 59 on the bunt for hit. 1967 season for Lou Brock, you know, just a typical Lou Brock year. 299, 327, 472, but he hit 21 homers during this year. 21 homers, a career high in homers for Lou Brock that year. Also led MLB in runs scored that year with 113. He was an all-star that year, first selection of his career. 52 stolen bases, 76 RBI. But his April, oh boy, his April. This guy started off his first 4 games hitting 5 dingers. 5 dingers in his first 4 games. This was unprecedented for Lou Brock. Holy cow. 6 homers in total during the month of April. 18 RBI. Hit 400 with a 432 on base. 729 slugging in 70 at-bats. Now, in terms of his stolen base numbers, let's talk about that. He only had 7 stolen bases during the month of April, which, kind of hard to fathom. But, extrapolated out a little bit, and he eventually got to 52. He had quite a few stolen bases, probably during the month of May. Oh, yeah, month of May was just incredible for Lou Brock. He added 14 more stolen bases during that time, but still, that's 400, 432, 730, 729. Yeah, you can't steal if you're circling the bases. Exactly. 6 homers, 5 of them in the first 4 games of the year. Crazy. So there you go. Lou Brock from the 1967 St. Louis Cardinals is in Perfect Team 24. Hot card right here. Hot speed card right here. Good against righties, too. All right, we got one more gold for you before we start going into the diamond ranks. And we're going to go back to the 2000s for this one. Now, this guy, I forgot that this guy had a very solid 2005 season overall. But he started out the year pretty darn good in 2005 for the Baltimore Orioles. That's right. We're going to Baltimore for our next card from the 2005 Baltimore Orioles. We have 88 overall, second baseman Brian Roberts. Brian Roberts, 71 BABIP, 49 power, 73 avoid K, 75 contact, 96 on the gap power, and 80 on the eye. Gonna be a little bit even-ish against lefties and righties. Got the same BABIP against lefties and righties. Got a little more power against righties. Similar avoid K, similar contact overall, similar gap power. Gonna get about 6 more points in eye against lefties here. Now, defensively, it's a little bit meh over at second base. 64 range, 85 error, 44 arm, 60 on the turn double play. Speed stealing and base running, though. That's a good one right there. 87 speed, 95 stealing, 91 base running. This guy's going to be effective on the base paths. 2005 season for Brian Roberts overall, 314, 387, 515 with 18 homers, 73 RBI. And this was a career year for Brian Roberts in 2005. The only season in which he hit above 300. His only season with more than 16 homers. So career high in homers for him that year. First All-Star selection. He only had 2 in his career. The other one coming in 2007. He had a phenomenal year there. Had 27 stolen bases during the year, 45 doubles, 7 triples. So a career high at the time for him in triples as well. But his April of 2005 got off to a heck of a start, and boy, howdy did it. 379, 459, 726. He hit 8 of his 18 homers during the year in the month of April. 26 RBI, 10 stolen bases with a 394 BABIP. 394 BABIP. That's up there. That is up there. Now, he continued that hot streak a little bit through the month of June as well. I mean, through the month of June, this guy was killing it. Let me see if I can't get game logs going for 05 here. Just to kind of show you how good he was, through the month of June. Because this guy, hit 365, 438, 614 through the month of June that year. However, he kind of fell off a bit in the second half And that also corresponded with a slide in the standings for the Orioles, which, I mean, if we're talking the mid-2000s Orioles, they were used to slides down the standings. But that 2005 season for Brian Roberts, heck, that first half for Brian Roberts, just absolutely phenomenal. So there you go. Brian Roberts from the Baltimore Orioles, 2005, is in Perfect Team 24. Dish, why you gotta say such mean but true things? Oh man, you know, it's kind of that like that one comic. He hated them. Well, they hated him because he told the truth. Oh gracious. Let's keep on going. And we're going to some diamonds here. We got 3 diamonds for you tonight. And our first one for you today. Oh man, you know what? A lot of people were wondering, I think I saw one person in the chat say that Dish doesn't put a tiger in his sets or something like that. Well, guess what? We found a tiger to put in this set. We found a tiger to put in this set, and it is the Apriliest tiger of all time. The Apriliest tiger of all time. A lot of people, you know, kind of figured this guy was probably come up. And that, my friends, is 94. This overall just blew my mind when I saw this. 94 overall first baseman from the 06 Detroit Tigers, Chris Shelton. 94 overall for Chris Shelton. I need to talk to Paul about this one. I need to talk to Paul about this overall because whew. That's a whew. My goodness. 85 BABIP, 96 power, 52 avoid K, 96 contact, 95 gap power, and 66 on the eye. You know, I have a feeling this card is just representative of his April and nothing more. Oh gracious. Yeah, I think there's a little more weight. Just a tiny bit more weight given to his April. But, you know, it was one hell of an April. Let's go through the card. So, splitty. Pretty decently splitty. All right. Gonna get a little more against righties here. 87 BABIP, 97 power, 49 avoid K, 96 contact, 104 on the gap power. Against lefties, though, 79 BABIP, 94 power, 62 avoid K, 95 contact, 67 gap, and 71 on the eye. So maybe get a little more balance against lefties, but you're definitely going to get a lot more production against righties here, especially with that BABIP, especially with the gap power there. Maybe not exactly with the eye and avoid K. That's a lot better against lefties, though. Defensively over at first base, it's a first baseman. 49 range, 38 error, 42 arm, 39 on the turn double play. Speed, stealing, and base running. Don't have this guy steal. Just don't. 31 speed, 22 stealing, 79 on the base running. Let's talk 2006 for the Detroit Tigers. The year that I really became a baseball fan. 2006 Detroit Tigers. Let's talk about Chris Shelton's April. All right. 326, 404, 783, 10 homers, 20 RBI, 364 BABIP. He was the fastest in AL history to 9 homers, doing it in his first 13 games. 9 of those homers in his first 13 games. How? Just how? Well, here's how. Hit 2 homers against opening day against Kansas City opening day. accounted for 2 RBI in their 3-1 win. Few days later, against Texas, bam! Another couple dingers, another couple RBI against Texas. In Texas, by the way. So, you might say, oh, come on now. He's just doing this in the warm weather climates of Kansas City and Texas in the month of April. Well, he had another homer the next day in Texas. So there's 5 right there. Then he came home, couple homers in the series against the White Sox. Then another couple homers against Cleveland in the next series. So there's the 9 homers in 13 games right there. And then the dude started to cool down. And cool down. And cool down. And cool down. And he eventually got sent back down to AAA during the 06 season, which necessitated bringing Sean Casey to the Tigers in 2006 for their playoff run. But that April, we as Tigers fans, always going to have that April from Chris Shelton. Always. Forever and ever. Amen. Chris Shelton from the 2006 Detroit Tigers in Perfect Team 24. Greatest week and a half of DishNet's life? There's probably there's probably been better greatest week and a halves, but this one's up there. This one's up there. All right, next up on the docket, we got a high diamond for you here. Got a couple high diamonds for you coming up. And we go to a guy back in the 60s that had one hell of an April, and at the time was probably becoming one of the best pitchers in the American League during this time period. Didn't quite get there due to injuries, but this guy certainly made a name for himself early on in the 1963 season. And that, my friends, comes to us from the Washington Senators. We have 96 overall, Tom Cheney, right-handed pitcher from the Washington Senators. 66 stuff, 83 movement, 71 homer rating, 106 pitcher BABIP, and 90 control. Now, split-wise, there's a little bit of a split here. More toward righties, but he's very serviceable against lefties as well. 65 stuff, 84 movement, 73 homer, 105 BABIP, and 92 control against righties versus lefties. 66 stuff, 82 movement, 68 homer rating, 106 PBABIP, and 89 control. Fastball, curveball, screwball, and knuckle curve combo on this guy. 92 stamina, 58 on the hold runners. Extreme fly ball type as well. 92 to 94 on the fastball. Now, you look at the whole for Tom Cheney. And I know I've said this already. All right. The whole season for Tom Cheney, only 23 games, 6.4 strikeouts per 9, 2.6 walks per 9. He went 8-9 during the year. But his April of 1963, he was pretty much solidifying himself as one of the best pitchers in baseball. 3-0 in his 3 starts, 3 complete games, 2 shutouts, 27 innings pitched. So he went 27 innings, his 3 starts, all 9 innings. Only gave up 8 hits and 2 walks in those 27 innings. Ladies and gentlemen, if you math that out, that translates to a 0.37 whip. 0.37 whip. I told you we would have more insane whip numbers, and we have it right there. Let's talk about his game performances in that April. All right, let's go to the game logs here. April 11th, against Boston, 8-0 shutout. Went the distance, 9 hits, 1 run, 10 strikeouts, 1 walk. Next start, April 22nd, I should say, against the LA Angels. 4-1 win. Complete game, 9 innings, 4 hits, gave up 1 run, but it was not earned. 4 strikeouts as well. And then, against Kansas City, the Athletics, 6-0 win, shutout, 9 innings, 3 hits, 12 strikeouts, 1 walk. That is also coming out to a FIP of 0.78. Woo! Woo! That is some hot stats right there for Tom Cheney. Now, unfortunately, his season kind of got cut off in late August due to injury. Well, heck, he I believe it actually was July, probably during his July start against Baltimore where he got injured. And Tom Cheney was never the same after that season. 1964, pitched in just 15 games with a 3.7 ERA. And then in 1966, he pitched just 3 more games, and then he was out of baseball. But for that one April, he was on top of the world. And there you go. Tom Cheney from the 1963 Washington Senators is it. Perfect Team 24. All right, our final diamond for you tonight before we get to the couple of perfects we have for you. I know this guy was mentioned a couple of times in the chat and during the live noon broadcast. Oh, buddy. We got a hot diamond for you here. Hot diamond. And you know what? I have a feeling this is going to be one of the better first basemen that are going to be in the game right now. If you ask me, I'm not an expert on how cards perform. There's people that are better than me at that. But this guy comes to us from the 2017 Milwaukee Brewers. Ladies and gentlemen, 97 overall, Eric Thames. Eric Thames, 90 BABIP, 104 power, 48 avoid K, 100 contact, 76 gap, and 100 on the eye. Look at his splits against lefties. 99 BABIP, 115 power, 42 avoid K, 104 contact, 74 gap power, and 99 on the eye. Now he's still pretty serviceable against righties too. 87 BABIP, 101 power, 49 avoid K, 98 contact, 77 gap, 100 on the eye. He can play first base. He can play a little left field as well. 44 range, 31 error, 37 arm, 35 turn double play on the infield. In the outfield, he's got 44 range, 60 error, 62 arm. This guy is a pure hitter. Pure hitter. Now, overall, his 2017 season was not bad. This was his first year back in MLB after an MVP stint in the KBO. Hit 247, 359, 518 for the whole year, 31 homers, 63 RBI, 125 OPS plus, part of the heart of the order for that Milwaukee Brewers team in 2017. But his April of 2017, 345, 466, 810 slugging. He hit 11 homers during that month, which is a record for the Milwaukee Brewers in the month of April. He set the record for the team of all time Milwaukee teams. Well, Milwaukee Brewers team record for homers in the month of April. Now, there is a question in the chat. How many of them were against the Cincinnati Reds? Let's count. Let's go. Let's see. April 13th against Cincinnati, 1 homer. April 14th against Cincinnati, 1 homer. April 15th against Cincinnati, 2 homers. So there's 4 right there. April 16th against Cincinnati, another homer. That's 5 homers in a 4-game series against Cincy. Now, let's go later in the month. Let's go to April 24th, at home against Cincinnati. 2 more homers. So there's 7. And then the next day, April 25th against Cincinnati, another one. So 8 of his 11 homers came off against the outstanding, wonderful, absolutely god-tier pitching of the 2017 Cincinnati Reds. And yes, those homers still count, even though it was against the 2017 Cincinnati Reds. 19 RBI during the month of April. How many of them came against Cincinnati? Let's find out. There's 8 in the first series right there, plus another 5. So 13 of those 19 RBI came just against Cincinnati. Crazy stuff. Oh man. So there you go. Eric Thames, don't have him steal. 11 speed, 24 stealing, 53 on the base running. Nah. And we got a question in chat. Does it really count if you hit a homer off a guy named Homer? Honestly, yes. I'm not gonna lie. Yes. So there you go. Eric Thames. Let me double check that RBI number on that. Yeah, 63 RBI. That is not a typo. He only had 63 RBI during the year. So there you go. Eric Thames from the Milwaukee Brewers is in Perfect Team 24. All right, we got a couple perfects for you to end off the day today. And we go to let's go back to the early 2010s. I know we've been in the 2010s quite a bit today. All right? I'm not going to lie to you here. Because there have been so many great performances in the last 13 years in MLB in the month of April. And let me tell you, if you guys... Okay. This guy was an absolute cheat code coming out of the bullpen in 2011. All right? This guy. Oh, man. I would play... I believe MLB 2K11. And I know, 2K series is a different series. Whatever. I would try to draft this guy every single time because this guy was just absolutely cracked in the bullpen during the 2011 season. Ladies and gentlemen, from the 2011 San Diego Padres, right-handed reliever, Mike Adams. Mike Adams. Look at all the blue on this guy right here. 90 stuff, 106 movement, 94 homer rating, 106 pitcher BABIP, and 98 control. I'm just going to let you bask in this for a little bit. That is some pretty blue right there. Let's look at the splits here. Against righties. 94 stuff, 107 movement, 96 homer, 106 pitcher BABIP, 100 on the control. Against lefties, 86 stuff, 105 movement, 92 homer rating, 101 pitcher BABIP, 96 on the control. Mike Adams, fastball, slider, curveball, changeup, cutter combo, slider cutter guy right here. If you want to talk about some of the most dominant middle relief of the early 2010s, you had to look no further than Mike Adams. I tell you, it was a crying shame that this guy was not the closer for the Padres. But you know what? He actually kind of thrived in that. Now, this was during the time when Heath Bell was a thing. You know, Heath Bell, Mike Adams, Luke Gregerson, Joe Thatcher, that bullpen for the early 2010s Padres, low-key, pretty solid group right there. All right. Mike Adams was a very key part of those early 2010s bullpens for the Padres, and heck, a little bit into the late 2000s as well. Came to the Padres in 2008 and pretty much dominated during his time there. A 1.66 career ERA in his 4 years in San Diego. But it's 2010. Let's talk about his April of 2010 here, because it was outstanding. 13 games, 13 innings pitched, a .69 ERA, didn't walk anybody, only gave up 3 hits. One of them was a homer. That translates to a whip of a .231. .231. Absolutely insane. Was Trevor Hoffman still there? No. Trevor Hoffman, I do believe, was gone by that point. Was retired by that point. But man, oh man. Yep. Yeah, Trevor Hoffman was either in Milwaukee or retired at that point. But man, oh man. But Mike, during the whole season, was pretty darn good. 75 games. He translated success through the rest of the year. 75 games, 73 2/3 innings pitched, 1.47 ERA, 9 Ks per 9, 1.7 walks per 9. He only gave up 5 homers during that whole season, one of them coming in April. And hitters during the season only hit 169, 211, 285 on the slash line against him. This guy was an absolute cheat code coming out of the bullpen in 2011 for the Padres. And this card, oh man, this card absolutely reflects that. So there you go. Mike Adams from the 2011 San Diego Padres is in Perfect Team 24. All right, folks, we got one more card for you. This is the last card of the evening. And you guys, oh man. This guy, you've been waiting for him all stream. All right. I know I've seen his name in chat quite a bit. I know who you're thinking is going to be here. And you would be right. Ladies and gentlemen, one of the most insane Aprils of recent memory. Coming from the 2019 Los Angeles Dodgers, 100 overall right fielder, Cody Bellinger. Cody Bellinger, 83 BABIP, 104 power, 82 avoid K, 109 contact, 71 gap power, 75 on the eye. He can play first, he can play center, he can play right. With solid defense, very much better against righties. 87 BABIP, 106 power, 83 avoid K, 113 contact, 72 gap power, 79 on the eye. 72 speed, 64 stealing, 75 base running as well. has an 85 position rating at first, 99 in center, 116 in right field. I won't even fathom a guess as to how high he can go in left field. 93 range, 96 error, 97 arm in the outfield. 43, 43, 44 range error arm in the infield as well. Holy crap. This guy, just video game numbers in 2019. Let's talk about this season, because his April was the stuff of legend. Stuff of legend. Let's just go for the April stats here. 431 batting average. That is a number above 400. 431. 508 on base. 890 slugging. Just in the month of April. You cannot fathom numbers like that for a whole season, let alone a month. 431 with 14 homers, 37 RBI in the month of April, folks. The ball was looking like a freaking beach ball to this guy at the plate. Holy cow. And I remember when we did Perfect Team 20, we had, I believe, Player of the Month cards. The Cody Bellinger Player of the Month card in Perfect Team 20, if I recall correctly, was pretty damn good. If I recall correctly. Those in the chat that are PT20 veterans from the 2019 season could probably remember that a little bit better. But man, oh man, that was an insane April. And overall, you know, this guy won the 2019 MVP, All-Star, Gold Glove, Silver Slugger. He swept some awards, man. 305 average, 406 on base, 629 slugging, 47 homers, 115 RBI, and a 167 OPS plus. He was an absolute monster during the month of April. And honestly, you know, he hasn't really quite gotten back up to that level yet. But so far, you know, he's playing for the Cubs so far this year. He's hitting 284, 347, 463, 3 homers already. So, Bellinger comeback season when? We shall see. We shall see. So there you go, Cody Bellinger. Oh yeah, also, his 37 RBI, 97 total bases, and 47 hits in the month of April. All MLB records. Historic season for and a great card for such a historical month. And a historical season, really. So there you go. Cody Bellinger from the LA Dodgers is in Perfect Team 24. So there you go. Our Heroes of April set is in the books. Vince Velasquez, Michael Wacha, Jose Reyes, James Pazos, Frank Smith, Matt Moore, Lou Brock, Brian Roberts, Chris Shelton, Tom Cheney, Eric Thames, Cody Bellinger, and Mike Adams. What a set right here, guys. This was a fun one, y'all. This was a fun one. Oh, man. Oh, man. All right, before we sign off for the day, let's go ahead and congratulate our weekly leaderboard champions for week 2, April 10th through the 16th. Let's take a look, see who we got. We got Ricky Vaughn winning the Daily Iron weekly leaderboard with 118 points. Daily Bronze, your weekly champion over there, was the E6 Flying Tigers and W. Rob, 81, 33, 74 points. Daily Silver went to Randall D. in the New Barn Spartans. He scored 121 points in Daily Silver tournaments during the week. Daily Gold, your weekly leaderboard champion, is DPL1 and the Barred Owls with 112 points. Daily Diamond was Jeff LTN and the Value City Viffers' second week. The second week, he was on top of the weekly leaderboard in that category, this time scoring 160 points. And then in the Daily Open, we had Khan and the Vlad News Bears taking first place last week with 157 points. And then the Daily Wild Card went to Moonlight Matt and the Cleveland Flying G's, 162 points in those tournaments this week. In the weekly tournaments, it was Aster31 taking home the leaderboard championship last week with 130 points. And then in the PD Daily, it's our good pal Khan and the Vlad News Bears once again, a 2-week streak, winning the Perfect Draft Daily Leaderboard Challenge, 119 points. 119 points. Pretty darn good stuff right there. And then in the PD Weekly, it was Hip and Knee Doc taking the win in the weekly leaderboard challenge with 68 points. So congratulations to all of our weekly leaderboard champs. The next week is already well underway. Good luck to everybody. If you want to be on this leaderboard, play some dailies, play some weeklies. Always a fun time, always a fun strategical adventure. Try to figure out the best team that you can. Figure out what team can win some tournaments for you. Always a fun time over there. All right, folks, cards are live right now in packs. All good stuff coming out. Thank you so much for tuning in today. Hopefully, y'all have a great rest of the day. And if you are watching the affiliate Streamathon, we hope you're enjoying that as well. I'll see you back here on Friday for the Perfect Team Friday Showdown. Have a great day, everybody. DishNet34 signing out. Take care, everybody.